3D-powered Metroidvanias have really gained in popularity these days. How does an all-girls school election scandal involving gangs of superpowered costume-wearing enemies version of one sound? Watch on and find out. My name is Thoraxe, and this is Strategy for Busy People. If you've got a few minutes, I'll tell you what to play. Note: I take journalistic integrity seriously. I was given a copy of this game by the publisher's marketer. I don't let that influence my review. Taking a break from builders for a moment, this week we're looking at Kotama and Academy Citadel by Atom String Games. I put just under 2 hours into this platformer. Now, I gotta say, right out of the gate, this game had me pretty concerned. Some of the character art is, shall we say, a little booby. But once I was in game, things were mostly pretty PG-13. You find yourself in this school, and there's some mysterious election that you need or want to participate in, but of course something has gone horribly wrong with the election systems, and you can't possibly enter the election. No, not without a literal fight. So off you go to do the fighting, I guess? Now, I'm not really sure why anyone would build a school like this. It seems kind of dangerous, especially for young people. There are all these ledges that you have to jump over, and like all this exposed wiring? Yeah, it's just weird. It's no wonder that people want to fight to take over this place. It's a disaster. But anyway, once you get past the death trap of a school bit, the game starts to take shape. As has become common in games of this type, you have an overview map that shows you both where you've been and where you haven't been, and some important landmarks along the way. There are a few somewhat hidden things here and there that you can figure out, and there mostly weren't any surprises in that department. As has also become common, as you progress throughout the levels and the game, you can get different skills and weapons for your character to use, presumably each with their own special attacks and playstyles. This will inevitably come in handy when you encounter other bosses later. If you saw my review of FIST, you'll definitely remember some of these things. One interesting little bit with this particular game is that every time you move into a new room, time advances a little bit until, for whatever reason, time gets stuck. But if you go back to this bubble thing, you can recharge your temporal coils and rewind time to earlier, which in some cases lets you find other characters to interact with in different places or in different states. As an example, this cat, which I'm not sure of its purpose, is only awake at certain times when you can illegally feed it. I'm sure that would be important later. So how does the fighting work in this game? Well, when you hit people with your umbrella, they get liquid on them, and once they're coated in enough of this nondescript fluid, you can hit them with your special attack, which does extra damage. And if that's not where you thought I was going with that sequence of commentary, A, get your mind out of the gutter, and B, I can't entirely blame you, even if the game does refer to this as, quote, fluid detonation. As you platform around detonating your fluids and dispatching the enemies, you pick up luminite crystals, which are used to both restore your chrono shell and as a currency to purchase items from vendors. If you run out of chrono shell, then your life jade takes a hit, and when you run out of life jade, you die. When you die, you can return to the last checkpoint or to a rewind station. Seems clear enough? So, as expected, boss fights. But really, regardless of Whether or not it's a boss fight, every enemy in this game has a particular attack and timing pattern that needs learning. You're likely to get smashed by a boss your first few go-arounds as you learn exactly what's going on. Both regular enemies and bosses have attacks that you can parry, which can induce a stun state, but bosses apparently also have the fun of having some unparryable attacks, because why wouldn't they? Before I give my final verdict, take a moment to like this video and subscribe to the channel. Don't forget to share it with your friends. Agree with me, disagree with me, or want to see other content? Let me know in the comments below. Want to try this game yourself? Check out my humble affiliate link below. And if you want to support me in making more of these videos, become a patron on Patreon. Your support really makes a difference. The final verdict. The game is really designed to be played with a controller, but it does offer keyboard controls. I couldn't find my gamepad, so I ended up playing the game with the keyboard. That was a bit frustrating, but honestly, I think I would have had the same problems with a controller. There's quite a few buttons, and learning the execution for the different moves takes time. I would have mistakenly hit something other than the jump button, whether I was using the keyboard or not. On my trademarked 3-point score scale of avoid, meh, and I forgot to eat, there was definitely food that you could give to the cat, and I have eaten my fair share of canned tuna in my day. But for some reason, this game ended up, for me at least, being a lot like canned tuna. Not particularly appetizing all on its own, but could potentially be turned into something special with the right condiments. Although I'm not sure this game offers condiments. Meh. There were apparently fish head gang though, which encouraged me to gather the controller I wish I had found to play this game and head on down to my Chinatown to get some fish head soup. Because you can't let a good fish head go to waste.